Hello students. Today I'm going to explain some things about British pronunciation. I'm sure all of you will be familiar in some way with the way that British people speak and sound, possibly via the BBC or maybe even a speech from the Queen. However, the reality of how local British people speak is often very different. And if you are to visit a pub or maybe a football stadium, you will often hear accents and voices which sound a far cry from Downton Abbey. So I'm going to introduce to you some of the regional accents from sportsmen who often don't have the best educations, but will be very in touch with the places that they're from. And the first one is a local boy, a proper Londoner, who is also one of my childhood heroes, David Beckham.
You took so much stick after the World Cup. You've been brilliant this season. A lot of people thought you should have been Footballer of the Year. You've really done well this season.
I've just enjoyed the season. You know, this tops it all off. If we don't win anything at the end of the season, then, you know, it's disappointing. But, you know, this has topped it off, and now we've got another big game on Wednesday.
A lot of people say players get tired, but is this Manchester United set of players really tired? They look pretty fresh.
No, we're quite fresh. Well, I'm fresh. Don't know about the rest.
Okay, now to Wednesday.
Okay, so David Beckham is born in the East End, the home of Cockneys, and speaks in a very similar way to the average working class Londoner. Next up we have the world famous Irish accent and the voice of a sporting superstar, Conor McGregor.
What's on the fight? I said 2 minutes, I meant 2 rounds. I felt comfortable throughout. I don't think any of these pose a threat. Every single one of them keep talking about the talk. Keep saying this guy's all talk, he's over the camera. But never once in your life will you hear them talk about the skill or the technique, because they know I own that.
So there we have it, the thick Irish accent. And you have to bear in mind that was an interview after a fight. So it's quite emotional and had a lot to say about talking. Next up we have the Scouse accent. In case you don't know, a Scouser is somebody from Liverpool. Not too far from Manchester actually, which has a unique accent, or from Wales, which even has their own language, which we'll come to. But here is Steven Gerrard, a famous Liverpool football player, who often people might struggle to understand.
It's emotional, but need to keep calm. Still 4 big games to come, but that meant so much, especially when, you know, they got back into the game and you fear the worst at that point. But I think we've showed today that we're going to go to the wire, we're going to go all the way. You know, nothing's won yet, but that was probably the biggest statement we've made so far.
A very emotional Steven Gerrard there. And not far from Liverpool is Manchester, where they have a quite distinct regional accent too. And here we have another fighter, the famous Ricky Hatton, who is about as Mancunian as they come.
It's obviously clear signs of ring rust, you know what I mean? I hurt him a couple of times, and then I tried to sit down on my shots, and you know they were all ducking in the top road, you know what I mean? It was miles away, you know what I mean? But after 3.5 years, you know, I expect that a little bit. I mean, for my first one back after 3.5 years, I put my body through hell, losing 4.5 stone, and I was winning, you know, the top and bottom of it is. So I don't want to make any hasty decisions, but I'm really heartbroken here because I worked so hard, not just for the 12-week training camp, for the last 5 months, getting my life back together, and I felt I was winning, and I was nearly home, and one shot, I'm absolutely out.
So he was clearly very upset there and used quite a lot of emotion in his words. You probably noticed a lot of colloquial language. And next up we have what I believe is the most difficult regional accent to understand, that of Glaswegians, the inhabitants of Glasgow. And there is no finer way to introduce this than via the voice of Sir Alex Ferguson, the long-running manager of Manchester United Football Club.
For 11 men, no problem. Young boy, been experienced, but they got him sent off. Everyone sprinted towards the referee. Typical Germans. You can't dispute that. They're like that.
Well, you talk players being tired. Did that show itself as well?
No, I don't think so. I think the problem was with having an extra man. They made the ball work. And I thought we defended very well, but it's taken an exceptional goal to finish the tie, really. So tremendous hit by Robin.
Over the two legs, did the better team win?
No, I don't think so. No, I think we played better today than they did in their own ground.
Okay guys, so I hope that was informative and gave you a brief introduction to some of the major regional accents, and I hope you could see some of the differences between the different regions. And I just remind you, you should all be aiming for something like the pronunciation that you hear on the BBC, because that is the highest quality English language that you'll hear, and in my opinion, perfect pronunciation.